Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Got to calm yourself down, sometimes. Get your train of thought. First of all, I apologize for running a little late today. I got caught up. One thing happened, another thing happened, and I just running late. So I got to the house, logged online. I needed to walk the dogs and do a few things at home. But thank you for being here. I've been thinking about this live probably for half a day. Let me give you a quick background. Had a really good session this morning. And first of all, thank you, everybody's here. I'm going to go. Greg's here. I see Theodore's here. Global investors here. So look, and please, I want this to be interactive too. So I'm going to do a little rant, but I want to hear some comments and questions. Gary, good to see you. Great conversation this morning. Went longer than my normal morning lives normally do, but it was really fun. Really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of thinking about all things going on in the hobby, positive, negative. I've told you guys before, I've got a whiteboard just full of ideas of videos that I want to put out. I've got all these things that I want to go to or things I want to think about. I talked a little bit this morning about the bench clear video, right? The second half came out after my lunch meeting, and I was driving home and listened to it, and it just got me going. And let me first say, my rant, if it's a rant, it's going to be a long conversation. It's my rant is focused at us, right? And I say us because I'm part of it, right? I'm part of it. I'm on YouTube. I have a voice. Us, the community, who let us get to where we are today. And before I explain that, let me take a step back and give you some background. Okay. There's a guy named Bishop. He did a video the other day on his experience in sports cards in the last year. And it's a very honest and a very good video. He talks about kind of chasing the dragon in the hobby, because he talks about how he's grading cards, and he graded cards. He's like, hey, $20 turnaround, or 20 days. That's okay. I can wait 20 days. Even 60 days, I can wait. And things took longer, and he used credit, right, to buy cards. So he's going to flip them. And then he got cards back that didn't grade very well. He went through his whole experience over the year. And his long story short was that he got himself into credit card debt over that, right? Totally can understand that one. Look, when I was in the hobby early on, one of the first things I did is got myself into debt because of the hobby. Now, the hobby wasn't hot enough back then to bail me out. So I understand that. But I struck a note because I thought he was very honest, very real. And then he goes on to share, for example, he sees often deals, a lot of great deals sometimes, but he knows he's not going to do anything unless he has cash, right? How important cash is. And let me just echo that, right? Cash is really very valuable, more so in many ways than trade value, in my opinion. And I'm sorry about the sunlight here behind me. Maybe I'll try to block that a little bit. So great video. So I'll make a comment of this. There's still people today that are falling prey to what Bishop went through, which is basically listen to a hype guy tell you, hey man, if you buy this card and you grade it and you get a PSA 10, you're going to make $4,000, right? They're telling you an option to a very, very narrow chance of probability, right? It's even gotten harder and harder today to take a card and grade it a PSA 10 than it ever has been before. Because PSA is more expensive. I don't care if they're strict or not. Things have changed in the grading, okay? We're not seeing the gem mint rate liberally come around as much as we used to before. So to kind of promote that, that's still going on. That's why I say we're kind of letting that happen. It's hurting the hobby. Okay, so here's where I want to get to. Bench Clear did 2 great videos in this, and I want to first of all applaud them for doing this. And I want to emphasize 2 things before I explain. First of all, who is Bench Clear? Bench Clear is Mike, baseball card collector, and Ty, Breaker Culture. Both guys, I did a video on before calling them kind of the OGs of the hobby because Mike has been in this for, I think, his whole life, but been in YouTube content for 5-8 years. Some of that, he's been putting out videos. Very honest, great insight. He put together Hobby Palooza. He was the organizer behind that. And here's what I like about Mike. Mike is hardcore collector. Like, if you want to understand the mindset of a collector, he's a great person to just listen to. And here's a quick little thought on that. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going live, so there's gonna be a lot of these little, dragon thoughts flowing in my head here. But one of the great examples he makes is when he buys a card, it goes in his collection. He's not buying it as an investment to ever sell, right? He even made a video about how if something happens to him, that's the only time his cards will ever leave his possession is at his passing, right? And then he'll give guidance to his family on how to either keep them or sell them, right? But he's not telling them that, hey, when dad pops off, you got millions of dollars in sports cards and you're going to auction them off. No, it's not an investment to him. Keep that in mind because the guys who are buying these big cards, right? You hear about the $4 million card, the $3 million card, that's kind of in fueling the hobby. I've had 2 hypotheses about this before. One, I think it's the fractionals buying it up. Oh, I need some water here, man. Water or wine. Either it's the fractionals buying it up, or it's people like Mike's who put something in their collection forever. Damn dogs. They're not putting in their collection for to flip. They're not going to hold it for 90 days and sell it at the Dallas show, right? They're buying it forever. And what happens is, and here's what I'm talking about. A collector will buy a card because he really loves the card. It goes public and it gets a record. Well, then the investment mind is any card that's like that card that I can equivalent any relationship to that card at all. Hey, it was a Yankee that sold for $5 million. This is a Yankee. That means all Yankees are going to go up. I don't give a shit what it is. They find a reason to kind of correlate this line, and I'm saying they, and referring to the investor world, they find this correlation, they tell you why that card's going up. So then everybody believes every time a big card sells that, hey, it was the first time he's wearing that jersey, and that card went up. So then they go react to the market, and part of that is ignorance, and part of it is just, I guess, I don't know if it was deception deliberately, like with somebody, and I do suspect it was, right? And what I mean by that, in the hobby, there's a lot of people who take advantage of people, right? He'll scam people he'll take advantage of people who don't know the value of their card, right? I mean, this sounds terrible, but for example, part of the hunt in the hobby is you'll go to a store, you'll go to a show, and the guy doesn't have it priced properly, right? So I got a deal. Would that ever happen at a legitimate store? You know what I'm saying? Like, if a store, I don't even know how that would happen because I guess they barcode everything today, but that just seems kind of sketchy, right? You wouldn't do that with a valuable thing like diamonds or gold, right? Hey, I found a diamond in the back. I'm just going to take it because he sold it to me as a ruby. I don't know. But that's part of the background, right? Is that I found a deal that a guy was unaware. Like, knowledge is one of the most important things in the hobby. Okay. And lack of knowledge is what people are exploiting, in my opinion, in the hobby, if that makes sense. Okay, so bench clear. And let me just real quickly, I'm going to pause. I'm going to get my thoughts in my head. I also want to check out a lot of people here, and I want to thank these people. And I do want to interact with my stream tonight. Okay, watching these guys laughing about their predictions on the collapse of the market. People are going to lose everything. Could have been put in a more constructive manner. Well, see, here's the thing. I think their voice has been there for a lot of people for a long time. Okay? So, and here's, and maybe, and I global sports card investor, I know you have followed you a long time, but for people who've been in the hobby for a while, like I'll give you Because I'm Carlos as an example, many of them I think have been, and I'll confess, I've even felt this myself, this bitter angry of like, you came into my hobby and you're doing what? You're selling what? You're flipping what? You know, like I understand that, right? Like there's kind of and that's where I think the collector investor mentality got there, where it's kind of like one versus the other. And I will say this, when this is all said and done, man, the collectors will still be here. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. And I do realize, I think in the last year, I've learned more about myself in the hobby than I ever knew before, because before that, I was in it with my sons. We buy stuff, we rip stuff. We had a great time doing it. But if we got a good hit or whatever, we sold it. We didn't use the money like for profits, but we used it to buy more stuff. We enjoyed the hobby. It was basically a self-fulfilling addiction. And what I can tell you is that my sons aren't in the hobby anymore. Okay. I think the investment side killed it for them. My oldest son's selling off all his cards. He wants out. It's lost too much value. My middle son is pissed he didn't sell his Luca $2,000. Every time I see him, he goes, Dad, I showed you we should have sold. You know, so that's what's kind of staying their mind. Think about that. My son's memory of the hobby right now is the collapse of their card value, which is just killing me. Okay, so we'll talk about that more. 10 minutes late. I'm behind. Ziggy is giving a fair warning. And again, rant. I don't want to come across as a rant. I'm ranting at us. We've got to get woke, man, when it comes to the hobby. Because here's something else. This is not going to regulate itself, right? And it's not going to get better either. You saw the news today. Nat's taking over PSA. Well, I'll talk about that. For the hobbyists, this isn't going to collapse. There is no long-term haul, but crypto guys have invaded the hobby and will eventually bail. Flippers also. I absolutely agree. That's spot on, right? In fact, when you listen to Mike talk about the joke about being like a shark waiting, I understand that. Because they are. Like, in fact, that makes me think to myself, again, the guys, I'd like to talk to any individual who's buying a sports card for over $1 million and ask them why. Unless they're a fractional or, you know, they just got in the hobby recently and, you know, they start flipping cards. A long-term collector, we all know, everybody who's been in the hobby with more than 5 years of experience knows this is the peak. It's never been here before. We are in thin air. Everybody knows that, including Panini, BGS, Beckett, PSA. These guys all know, like PSA guys, and I jokingly will say this, but the old guard that ran PSA is laughing in their yachts going, I can't believe we sold that company for $1 billion. All they do is give you their opinion of a freaking piece of paper. I mean, think about that, right? They cashed out and they're laughing to the bank. And what's happened is the investors coming in, and it was investors that came in. Don't give me any BS about Nat being a collector. Nat is an investor. Nat coming in is like, how do I optimize value? How do I make this company the most money? How do I, because he looked at this, and again, on paper, you can see this long revenue stream. There's a lot of things they can improve upon, right? And they've done a lot of things. But I'll tell you this, it's funny. I don't see them being a dominant player within 5 years. I think PSA fumbles within 5 years. Because I think, again, a lot of it's built on their whole fallacy of that they've got magic wizards creating cards. But when we realize that those magic wizards are the same magic wizards at HGA and the same magic wizards at Pure Graded X, and they're all just guys who look at cards. That's all my point is. There's no scholarship. There's no certification. There's no apprenticeship. There's no years of experience either, guys. Let's wake that up too. Again, find me the 10-year veteran grader that's still in the business, sitting there grading cards every day. Not the guy who's managing the team, but the 10-year grader. You know what I'm saying? Those wizards aren't around. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm ranting, and I got so much to talk about. What's up, Zig? Thanks for being here, Theodore. And keep your comments coming. Let's fuel this fire. I got nowhere to go, and I got a drink in my hand. There is no way the ultra-modern, high-end slab players will literally have nobody work with the whole ridiculous values. These prices are totally manipulated content creators. Again, I don't. In fact, here's a perfect example of this, Theodore. The market cap is complete bullshit. I mean, really, if you have a friend who uses the term market cap of a sports card, just say, dude, please explain that to me. And try to re-educate him. If you listen to a content creator shoving it down your throat, call them out on it. Say, please stop using market cap bullshit, because it works really well in a bear market, a bull market, right? Where everything's going up. You can go, well, the last one sold for 1,000. So if you want to buy the entire population of 20,000 of them, it's going to be 20,000 times 1,000. And even then, the idiot on this side is going to go, really? You're going to charge me cost for quantity? Let's get a deal, right? So there's no such thing as market cap. Even in a bullish market, you're never going to get every card in the population sold for the last auction value, okay? So people tell you that are lying to you. In a bear market, it's just no more glaring than it is right now, okay? Like for tonight, I could go on the market and sell Luka PSA 10 for $200. Does that mean the market cap for every PSA 10? And I mean, do legit, sell it, put it on an, whatever it is, make a legit sale. Does that make everybody in the market cap all just cut down whatever it is, a third? No. Just stop listening to that. That's a way they use to manipulate the market, and they manipulate people to buy. They tell you, hey, there's a gap in the market cap value. Look at the market cap value of LeBron compared to the market cap value of Dwayne Wade. It's just, so here's what I'm ranting at. I'm finally feel free to speak my mind sometime, I guess, in a way, about some of the shit that's going on that we're allowing it to happen, guys. We need Bench Clear and others like that to, I think, put out a difference of opinion. Now, I don't agree with everything, and I'm going to get to them in a minute. I got some things I want to talk about on the Bench Clear that I disagree, that I think they're underestimating or overestimating. Peter, I think you're already seeing a lot of the pure flippers leaving. I know. So, and here's the thing I'll say. I love the quote from John at Sports Card Nation. The people are the hobby is the people. It is very true. Let me take a drink. The people are the hobby are the people. Because people are shitty. Some are great, but some are shitty. And guess what the hobby is? Some are great, some are shitty. And with less people in the pool right now, see, last year there's so many people in the pool, you didn't see the shitty guy, right? And who's pooing in the pool or peeing in the corner. Now we're looking around going, dude, why is that dude shitting in the pool? Right? We see this stuff going on. Like today, I was watching two things. Card porn on how they can't get Heritage Auction to pull down that trim card makes me want to gag. I'm just sick to my stomach. And I got emails from Heritage today going, hey, check out our auction. I'm thinking, really, Heritage? Which made me think to myself, why do they have those auction? I don't know. It's just a separate topic. And the other thing was fake Logo Man patches of some old vet, which I again think to myself, that's an easy way to target people, right? Because he's retiring or something like that. So go get his Logo Man. It's, again, fake patches that are being made. Oh, man. It's depressing. Oh, where I go. You know, I tell you why I did this at 7:30, by the way. Just shout out. I want to do a couple shout outs real quickly. Shout out. I like Sports Card Anonymous. I think he's on at 8. I know we're going to do a little conflict there. Maybe he's on at 9. Also, because I'm Carlos is on. So I like listening to their shows tonight. So I wanted to squeeze this in before then. Also, a little shout out to my friend Pete. Before I forget this, Pete is one of the best breakers in the industry. Pete's been breaking, I don't know, 10, 15 years. The most honest breaker you'll ever meet. And I mean that. Like, he'll tell you if your card's good or if it's not. He's not going to blow smoke up your butt and go, Hey man, that was a hot box. You want to break another one? No, he's not going to do that. He'll tell you, dude, stop ripping. This stuff sucks. This stuff's crap. Right? He's honest. Pete, I'm sorry. He lost his best friend, his dog, today. So I understand. My dog guy, and I've known Pete for years. He has a family now. That dog means a lot. I can't explain to you how important it is for a man when the dog passes. It's weird. It's kind of like your link to that life died too. And I don't want to go too deep in this. It's a sports card show, but man, I feel for you, Pete. Oh my goodness. So shout out to Pete. And again, Bargain Box Breaks is his break. I don't know if he's on a channel. I see him on Facebook. I think he's got a channel. I'll tell you this. It's so hard to get his breaks. He's the damn best breaker, best prices. He's just a great guy. But Bargain Box Breaks. The market run-up we're witnessed over the last 18 months is artificial. Feels like real estate 15 years. Very fair, but I think it's even worse than that. I think it was predatory. I think it was manipulation in some ways. And here's the sad thing. There's no repercussions. Like in the real estate market, I think some people might have gone to jail or, some people got their money back or whatever. There's insurance or something. There's nothing like that in the sports cards. And I think that's one thing Mike and that Mike talked about is that he feels bad that people are going to leave with a bitter taste in their hobby. And that's what, boom, that's when I was in the car. I was like, you know what? I know exactly what it means because that's how my sons are right now. My 3 sons, I could see not being involved in the hobby because they might look back and go, well, my dad was so into it. And I remember I lost a lot of money on that Luka, which he didn't lose money. We didn't buy the damn card. We pulled those cards in a case that we broke back in 2018 when we could buy a case for a fair man's working wage. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. We saved those base cards and we graded them, but that's neither here nor there. And I don't, and again, the message here, I want to be positive and constructive, I think too. Where did I just go with my quote, my comment? Here we go. Young people new to the hobby see some kids selling a Lucas Slab for $3K, thinking they can do the same thing. Credit card bill comes, and yep. In fact, let's let me call it out right now. I cannot stand DApps. DApps, dude, you're terrible. DApps, you're absolute trash. You're probably the worst sports card content creator on the YouTube channel right now. Most of the other ones have kind of tinkered away or disappeared, and I'll even say this, DApps, I don't think you're a bad human being, but your channel's terrible, man. Your channel is awful. And here's what I think to myself when I'm watching DApps is, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? You only have a couple thousand subscribers. You're not doing it for ad revenue. You can't be doing it for ad revenue. What I mean by that is, he, like, for example, what did you just say here? Thinking they can slab. In his show, I think it was yesterday or today, he takes a Luka, right? He buys Lukas for, I think it was $5. He's saying you can buy a Luka for $500 to $900 raw. Okay? A silver Luka, $500 to $900. I don't know if that's correct. I haven't checked Luka raw prices. But let me just say this. It's 2021. If you're if you're buying a raw Luka silver, it's most likely been pulled many, many times ago, which means it's been pre-screened. It might even been cracked, but it ain't a 10. The likelihood of it being a 10 are very slim. Then add to that, again, I'm not going to say anything about PSA, but 2 things. A, are you going to use PSA? Are you? Okay, so great. He recommends PSA. DAP says, spend the $500 to $900. Then add $200 to that, so you're spending $1,100 on the card. And get a PSA, because if it comes back a PSA 10, you're going to make $4,000 on it. Well, again, 2 things that bother me. And again, this is talking to these people, right? He's talking to a young, influential audience with his freaking hat on backwards and saying, dude, you can do this, right? Just go. You got to have big bucks. And then here's my favorite part that I almost wanted to reach to the YouTube channel and cry because I'm not going to use violent words. He says, so again, if you get a PSA 10, you get 4,000. If you get a PSA 9, you basically break even. I think you get like 1,100 or whatever. So you basically break even. But if you can buy it for less than that, you might make a few $100. So find a good deal on the raw. And I'm sitting there thinking, you just keep changing your goddamn mind. Then my favorite part, he goes, so what you need to do, man, is do this X10. So get 10 raw Lucas, invest yourself in for $11,000, and then all you need to do is sell 3 of them for $4,000, and the rest of it's gravy. Even if you have 8s or raw, I'm sitting there going, dude, this is exactly what got us in trouble, man. Right? So why are people watching that? Why? Why is he putting it out? And again, is it for the views? You're looking for the subs? Are you making, like, what is your spin on it? I go back to what I believe it is his business. I think he runs a little breaking room, right? Where, again, he's one of those breakers who will sell you a box of, Prism for, whatever the highest market comp value was. in a break. I think he did a break for like 4. Anyway, I'm ranting too much about this guy. I'm giving him way too much time. But he is the problem you're referring to, Teddy. God, that's a good rant right there. Daps, we got to get rid of Daps. And Daps, I don't mean this the wrong way again. If you're listening or one of your followers listening, I'll say this: Daps has already blocked me on his channel. I'm blocked on his channel for asking him questions like, dude, why are you using, like, when Carlos pointed out, he was showing one card and then showing the comp of another one. When I asked him questions that were just intelligent questions, he blocked me. But if someone gets back to Daps, in fact, here's what you're doing. If you are watching Daps, go tell Daps on his comments, say, why'd you block Ziggy? Why can't answer Ziggy? Or come on Ziggy's show. But dude, change your perspective. If you're in a hustle to keep your business going, there's better ways to do this. Right now, I just look at you're pilfering people. You're just stealing from everybody. And stealing's the wrong word. It's not stealing. I know he sells something to them and they get something. He does free box breaks. Oh, someone says a good rant. And that must have been earlier on. I'm enjoying this chat. Let's keep it going. I have no idea where we are. We have 25 people watching. People come into shops all the time with their second year chat cards to sell. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, Henry. You're so right, dude. That was in the Bishop video. If you watch Bishop's video, he talks about second year cards. And I'll tell you guys, I made a video about this. No one was watching my channel last year, okay? I think I had 50 subscribers, maybe 20 views a day. But I did a video on Rise of the Refractors and why are people grading these refractors? And I did one on second year cards and jersey swapping or whatever. Dude, it's embarrassing because there's no reason to buy a second year card. Even Patrick Mahomes' second year cards, I think, is a waste of money because there's so damn many of them made, man. Like they made so many rookies and they made so many of his cards. Back when Fleer was around, they had the 86 Fleer. And guess what they had in 87? They had the 87 Fleer. So legitimately, there were 2 types of Jordan cards you could have had in 2 years. 2 pictures, 2 options. And that was it. And even those numbers were high, that was it. But then fast forward to today. Like, for example, LeBron, Kobe, second year cards, you don't need those. They might have value. They might because people will think they're rookie year cards. That's another thing. They'll think, oh, was this rookie year? I think I'll buy it. It's got a big price tag on it. But, oh my God, second year cards, that's something we should burn second year cards. As hobbyists, you should burn second year cards unless you're collecting them for a set. Take them out of the damn pop count. That way you prevent people from accidentally buying them. Is that funny? Is that bad? Burn second year cards. If you're manufacturing them, don't make second year players. Their second year, they get blacked out. Hey, it's a blackout for second year players. That's another thing we could do to protect people in the hobby. Oh my goodness. Hey, Ziggy. Hey, chat. Hey, Tom. How you doing, man? Theodore, the deception, please. People are making huge purchases at the shows constantly. Really? It's staged. I agree. I totally agree with you. I've always thought that every purchase, I'm like, you do realize that these cameras are being done where the person is agreeing to the purchase. In fact, the most legitimate purchase that I saw, honestly, of all the YouTube videos, and this one was probably staged or could have been, but to me was the most honest, was that little dude on Sports Card Invest, which I don't like him, but I always take in consideration. He's young and he's hustling. I can't stand his hustle, but he is hustling. But in his video, he's negotiating with the guy. First thing, he badgers the guy to death. He just continues to stay there and push his deal. But he gets his deal. And he does even say, do you mind if I film this? So I do think that maybe he did walk up and make the deal happen without staging. I don't know. It was pretty interesting. Steve Speaks. Hello. Welcome, man. Welcome. Flipping burgers is more profitable? No, you're right. So I guess I'm saying I don't blame that. Like when Gary Vee came out last year and said, dude, you guys can go to you can go to yard sales and you can get mugs and sell them on eBay for $50 to yuppies who are trying to collect a set of all the Starbucks mugs. That's fair advice. So when he told a bunch of kids, hey, dude, there's a bunch of these nuts who are paying a lot of money for Prism Silvers. They come in these things called Prism boxes. They were at the retail, Target and Walmart, and people went out and bought them. Is that bad? No. Again, it's our fault. It's we did this. We could have stopped right there and said, nope, I'm not buying retail. I'm not doing it. But I'll be honest. Again, I have a bunch of freaking retail I bought. Now, I'll tell you why I bought retail, because I couldn't get freaking hobby at a fair price anymore, right? Which I'll go back to. The 2 issues I think are in the hobby are the exclusive licensing or lack thereof, true market competitiveness at the top down, and the lack of regulation or oversight in this hobby. Both are killing me. I will tell you guys, I'm going to make a little confession here. Okay. I've told many of you guys I've been selling. I definitely been selling. Not that I have a lot to sell, but I've been selling most of this year. I've been selling. I think it's a fair statement. I think if you from even January, even December, I've been selling more selling than bringing in easily. I can easily tell you that. But I will say I've definitely shifted more into the NFT space. And I can tell you it's for the collectability more than anything else. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to talk about it because I do want it to be secret. I want it to be quiet, but I'll be open with you about that. Like I was selling cards yesterday on StarStock, freaking just cashing out StarStock and stuff, taking offers for $2, $3. Man, I'm taking 50-cent offers because to me, when I sent to StarStock, I sent it there with the intent to sell it. I was like, I'm just getting rid of this stuff. Also, when I sent myself to StarStock, I didn't pay to process any of it. I got like 5,000 cards I sent to StarStock last year that they processed for me. I probably got 1,000 left or whatever, but I'm just liquidating it, man. I'm just taking low offers. I'm fine with that because I'm taking that money and I'm converting into NFTs, which is hilarious. But I really am. I've decided to move that StarStock account into more NFT-like cards and moments. But gotta buy what you love. Speculators, investors, corporate greed, skills. You do. But here's the funny thing: how many? This is what I love about those flipper guys who came in the hobby, the chuckleheads, right? Who tell you what to buy and they tell you, well, if it isn't good, man, just put in your PC. Put in your PC. That basically meant I don't know what I did, so I'm putting my PC until I figure out what the hell I did, right? Because you're right. If you bought it in the first place because you truly love the team, the player, the story behind it, you wouldn't be worrying about it, right? So I agree, and that's why again, Tom, I go back to Mike. I think I said this. Mike made the comment about being like a shark. There are a lot of collectors who are going to enjoy feasting off of the crash of the hobby. I mean, they're going to enjoy buying some of these big cards at low prices. Now, when that's going to happen, I don't know. Like, we'll talk about that, I think, a little bit. But I don't think the crash is going to happen until after National. These guys think it's going to happen at National. Okay, hobby is bigger than all of us. It is bigger than all of us. It is bigger than all of us. It is bigger than all of us, but it is us. It's us who fuel it, right? And if there's not as many of us as there was last year, there's not as many buyers to fill it, right? And the hobby is us. It's also the bad part of us, man, right, Global? That's what I really worry about, dude, is that these guys aren't even warning you to the fact that people are creating these fakes and putting in frauds. And in fact, I listened to a video where the guy was, and again, I like this guy's channel, but he's saying, hey, we'll put manufacturing over in China and have them doing grading. I'm like, do you really want China? Think about this. Do you want China to be grading your cards? Or would you want to buy a card that came from some PSA office in China? As a collector, I'm screaming no, dude. The biggest frauds have been coming from China. They've been creating the frauds. They're manufacturing the fakes. It's just wake up call. I don't know. That's another reason why I was like, I got to talk about this tonight. Because we have a bunch of uneducated people don't realize the hobby's had a history of fakes and frauds, right? In fact, one of the reasons that there aren't investors, in fact, here's when I think of auction houses. The reason I don't think eBay puts these items on their auction is because they don't want to be liable for the fakes and frauds, right? So they'll let the transaction, they lean towards the seller or the buyer. So in order to get, right, if you're gonna sell a fake or a fraud that you got slabbed or you have a fake slab of, where are you gonna sell it? Probably an auction house. And these guys don't give a junk about the authentication of the card. They don't. They assume the card is authentic because it's in the slab. And here's even funnier story. The slab manufacturers assume the relic and the autograph are authentic because the manufacturer, Panini and or Topps, said it on the back. Think about this weak chain of trust. Okay? Think about this weak chain of trust. If the manufacturer puts a label on it that says, the autograph is genuine, guaranteed by Panini, and that's all it basically says, then whatever autograph is on it, the grader will assume is authentic, and they do not authenticate the auto. They just grade the auto, okay? Think about that. BGS and PSA are not authenticating the autos. They're just grading them. Big difference. They're assuming they've been authenticated. Unless you send them for authentication, that's totally different. But if you're sending them a Panini card with an auto on it, they assume it's already been authenticated by Panini. So they're just going to grade the card. They slap the card. So this chain of weakness is big. So if I want to go after you, man, I just make really good fakes of autographs and say, guaranteed by Panini on a card that is going to be accepted by the grader. It can even come out a freaking 8. I don't care. It's all crooked. Look, it's old, but it's an 8. Yeah, but it's a rookie Michael Jordan card. Whatever you want to do, man, you could scam people. Market correction always weed out flippers. Day traders said the correction will ultimately be good for all of us long term. I do, but here's the problem, game time, and I am talking too long, so I'm going to fast forward in this thought. We are going to be screwed because of manufacturing. Okay, we hobbyists are looking at about 2 years of bad products and doom and gloom in the hobby industry. And I'm not talking about the individuals and the value of cards. What I'm referring to is that we know the manufacturers respond to the actions of the hobby, and they saw a year of boom, right? So Topps and Panini both probably had a roadmap for 2021 of all these products that they're going to have and projected their full year of forecasted revenue, because that's what companies do, right? In fact, Topps probably used that when they did their portfolio pitch to sell themselves to the mud in order to go public, right? And it's interesting with a SPAC, you only have to fool one idiot. And I'm sorry to say that. You only have to fool one group of idiots to make that investment into your company. Most companies that go public do what's called a roadshow, and they have to go get lots of other investors and chunks of people to invest in them on the first IPO. But when you only have to get one, you only have to show them. So you can basically get a guy who goes, look how great the sports card market is. Look how much revenue we're going to do. Look how much more we're going to do. Look at Top Shot. Like here's Topps' pitch was, look at what Top Shot's doing. We're going to do more than that. And then they did the NFTs in April, and they've done nothing since then. They sold the company. They went public. The guys who are, I think the hardworking people who are vested are probably like, I'm out of here, man. And I'm not probably everybody, because clearly we're seeing people like Emily there, but some people at Topps have got to be on a vesting schedule, right? They got to be sitting there going, well, how long till I leave? Maybe they have handcuffs for 6 months, 12 months, whatever it might be, but there's going to be a talent loss because of that public offering. Okay. Same thing's going to happen with Panini. When Panini gets acquired, merges, whatever you want to say, they're going to be publicly traded. The Panini guys too are recognizing, dude, they've got basically, they're looking at the market like it is February right now with whatever card you can think of that's high, because they know Panini right now looks like it's at its high. Right now in July, if you look at the revenues of Panini for 2021, they're probably exceeding every one of their revenue expectations because they're not impacted by the downturn. Manufacturers are not impacted by this downturn right away. People are still buying their products. They're still demanding more. And here's the reason they're buying more, because they want the allocation. So if I'm a dealer, broker, whatever, I'll buy it because I'm going to get some NTs and Prism next, in this fall. I'm going to get some of this. So that isn't being hurt. So Panini looks strong right now, strong to anybody. And again, with a slam being a SPAC, they don't have to fool one idiot. Sorry to say that. One small group of people comes in and goes, yeah, this looks good to me. Sports card market's on fire. Everybody's talking about $1 million here, $1 million there. Yeah, let's buy it. The people Panini, like if I'm Tracy Hackler, and I don't know Tracy, but he's been there a long time, that dude's probably looking at, I can cash out and retire. I can finally go home and collect. I can go home and I can now troll the SOBs who've been trolling me. I mean, that's what I would do. If I was Hackler, dude, I would go home, create some burner accounts, and I would burn up the people who've been burning you up. And I'm probably thinking you're thinking me, which I don't really give him too much heat. I wish he did some things differently. I'd love to have drinks with Tracy. Tracy and I would have a great time. But I'm just saying, Tracy's probably going to cash out. And so is a lot of other Panini talent. And here's what my point is, back to game time. 2022, those new shareholders for both these companies are looking at their bottom line. They're looking at revenue for 22 and 23 and go, let's make more product. Let's make more product. Everything will have more print runs. There'll be more products, and they will come after who to pay for it. There won't be as many people in the swimming pool anymore, right? We won't have all these donkey flippers anymore to come by. It's going to be the collectors and the shops and the stores, and that wave of product is going to crush people in this hobby. And I'm sorry to say it like that. Now, again, the hobby is strong, and the hobby is the people, and people will do well. And I'll tell you, if I'm an investor, I'm waiting 3 or 4 years, and I'm buying up a hobby shop, and I start buying allocations from hobby shops that can't sustain their mortgages or leases, right? There's opportunity on the horizon, but I'm not buying a hobby shop. I'm not opening one right now. I mean, like here we go. I love what Ryan has done in Ohio, and I know he bought allocations of the business. He's very invested. But will he sustain that? We will see. I think he will. I actually do think he will. But my problem is his show and that channel influenced a lot of other people to think they could do this too. And that bothers me, man. Like I remember last year, one of the other channel guys was going to go out and start his own store. And I was like, dude, you got to stop. Don't do that, right? Do you have allocations? He's like, I don't need allocations. I'm going to hustle. I've been doing this in IG. And if you listen to Ryan started, I think, on Instagram, and a lot of people do, and they started their own little hustle, and then they decided to buy a shop, and they got a license and a lease or whatever, and they're building a store, and they're all being influenced, right? But they don't have, I don't know what if it's knowledge or experience or just foresight, but dude, I suspect we're going to see a huge crash when all that happens. Again, Panini Topps public. Shareholders yelling at them. Where's my revenue? Well, let me show you where it is. We're going to make so many more products next year. We're going to increase print runs. Because the shareholders are going to say, well, how do I increase revenue? You mean if I make more product, I make more money? Well, duh. Keep the printers rolling. Can we buy our own printer? I mean, come on. And they're gonna destroy the hobby. Not destroy. I think that's a hard word. They're going to have adverse effects. And that's going to take years to correct. Okay? Because there'll be this time where they'll force that stuff down the channel. The channel will choke. You'll have people going under. I also think by then we're going to see two things. We could see more direct-to-consumer options where consumers are willing to pay a premium to get access to products. That might be a way. If I was them, that's the way I'd go. I'd get rid of distributors, and I would shore up my base with the collector community. And I do think the NFT space will have more traction in a few years because it's people like collecting. They do. And my kids like skins. They like video games. They're familiar with that. I can see them liking the skins utility of NFTs that are unique individuals. And this is early on. These are the 1999 Pokemons, man. I really do believe the 2021 NFTs that are fully licensed are like the 1999 Pokemons or the 86 Fleers. That's just my opinion. I keep talking about damn NFTs. I don't know why, but I'm being honest, man. I am moving more to the NFT market. I love the NFT space. I really do. Buy 1 million cards for $1 or for 1 card for 1 million. Yep. Where my yacht? Hasbro doing it. After investors came in the market for vintage steel, corporate steal their fair share licensing prices and quantities, killing a lot of their long-term collectors. Wow. Yep, because it's greed, man. It is, and I understand it's not greed. It's also it's our locust like American habit way. Like something happens, we focus on it, we pull the value out of it, we enjoy it, we enjoy the race, but we move on to something else. We do. PSA is a heroin for most people. They need to get their detox. And I'll tell you this, I don't know why, because again, I think most true collectors, like most of us who've been here for 5 years, realize that BGS was dominating this market. PSA just recently in the last 3 years really took over market share. Why is there no damn registry? Someone needs to create that set registry I've talked about. I think that's a game changer. Create a fun set registry that gives me rewards, NFTs, memberships, whatever it might be. I got so much more to talk about. God, I got so much more to talk about. Okay, I'm gonna move through these faster. Card manufacturers should be thanking their grading cards and distributing those, like Leaf does with their 101s. Great margins on grading. Huh, that's interesting. I do like some of the stuff Leaf's been doing. Their pro set collectors will always be there. 80% of these YouTube flippers will be gone too. I think there are a lot of them have been gone recently, man. I mean, really, there's like a lot have disappeared. Change their channels, gone back to video games. And if they're out there, in fact, I keep forgetting this. If anybody wants to come in and chat, I'd be happy to go live with them. These graphs just killing me. People love charts and graphs. They do. Oh, we're visual, man. What did I just do? Oh, we really have that many comments? Oh my goodness. Show. Game Time Gallery, the idea of a card company should make master cards in pairs and sell them. Grading companies creating their clear grading guidelines. I like that. The hobby is great. I always enjoy the fun conversation line with people when they're chasing retail target. I agree, John. Dude, I agree, dude. I've made some great friends at retail. And talking to them, yeah, man. I miss the fact we can't do the Target and hang out. And why'd they take that away from me? I love that, dude. I really did. I agree with you, man. And I say, too, communicate. Talk to people. Get to know them. What does PSA do with all these slabs they will get stuck with? Cancel orders. It's a great question. I mean, they'll find a way to sell them. Repacks. PSA repacks. I'm calling it today. 716 PSA repacks. And what happens to this? It's not just them. What about the subbers? Right? The subbers get stuck with this stuff? Ditto, Rick. Prices get low enough. Ding, ding, flip round two. No, because who's buying them? There's a lot of guys like Bishop who got burned. But let me talk about a few things. So manufacturing costs. I think distribution is going to be in trouble too, man, because they've gotten lazy daisy. Grading. Here's another question, right? I'm a fan of the grading companies, and I love all the grading companies, but I also know they all can't survive. Okay? There's just not enough demand. There's a lot of demand right now because PSA is not doing bulk submissions and BGS is doing bulk submissions. But if both those were to ever get back to some type of capacity, the 10 other graders some of them are going to die. They're going to go away. It's all about memories associated with a card, like Jimmy and Casey says it's true, that true passion story associated with card cards. I agree with you on that, man. I agree with you. In fact, I had some cards I was going to show you guys tonight. I haven't gotten to that yet. But I do like the story more than the card itself. And I could say, too, sometimes I don't even need the card anymore. Like, I think I mentioned the other day, I make a shirt that says, cards come and go, the memories last forever. That sound too corny? Can't watch everyone's content enough. Not enough time. Sorry for his loss. Yeah, man, I agree, dude. His dog is awesome. It's all unicorns, rainbows, and bunny rabbits. 90% of these guys. I agree, and it pisses me off, man. And if you say anything negative, they block you because goodness and gracious, you know. And I will say again, that's why I applaud Bench Clear Media, okay, for at least giving the negative perspective to a larger audience. Okay, they have I think over 10,000 subscribers. They have a pretty good following. They're very well known in the collector community. I know a lot of the collectors are going to probably listen and embrace that. And again, like I said, I know a lot of collectors. Because Carlos says he's waiting for blood in the streets, right? He really wants to see blood in the streets. I don't think he means literal blood, but he wants to see monetary blood in the streets. If the number of hobby flippers drops 20%, PSA admissions will drop 74%, long-term collectible. I think it's going to take a long time for that, though. I really do. I mean, because right now, PSA's backlog's big. It's big. They're probably a year out before we get to normal. And I think that might even add fuel to the fire is that by the time they get to normal, I think people are going to be so burned and so angry that they're going to be pissed with PSA, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, if somebody were to come up with a viable option and did things like added a set registry, hey, CGS guys, CSG guys, and SGC guys, add a freaking set registry. Make it fun. Get the collector community that's pissed off at PSA. As we know, there's an influx of so-called junk slabs. We have to learn about the people are smarter because of this. Say they'd be happy with whatever they will enjoy. They are, but where do those slabs go? I'm going to tell you right now where a lot of them are going to go, guys. They're going to go in repack products. Okay? I've already seen them in some repack products because the repack asshole is going to tell you that, oh, they're valued at hundreds of dollars. Yeah, like past year's value, but you're going to open some of those repacks and you're going to be disgusted in the future. You're going to be furious. That's where they're going, repack products. Slabs will be in repack products. All those base slabs will find themselves in repack products. How would you like to explain to your wife that your second mortgage in your house because you say Lucas base is a goodbye? I know, right? But remember, again, I like Sasha T's hustle. I applaud him. I don't think he's a bad person. But again, I don't think people think, like, why were you doing this? Why did you make your YouTube channel? Like, even thinking about you're giving information away that kind of impacts your play. So if you're not doing it to affect your buying and selling, are you doing it because you're insecure and you want people to look at you every day and tell you you're doing a good job? Like, what was your purpose of your channel then? Right? Like, go back to Daps. What is your purpose? If your purpose is to educate people, then I think you did it poorly, right? Or maybe you didn't realize. I don't know. I don't know what to say there. I didn't follow Sasha T early on. I liked his little trifecta he used to do, his conversation with the two other people. The young guy. I wonder what happened to them. I know the older guy, he's still a full-time collector. Love the honest message, but these guys seem a little too gritty in recent downfall. Remember, a lot of people made crazy money because of flippers investors. You're right. But I think a lot of people are also bitter because they didn't make money, right? They watched this happen and didn't make money, you know. Like, dude, here's another one I have on here, data tools. Is there a future for data tools? I mean, the data is out there, right? Do we need data tools? Like, to be honest, I wish I had the time, money, energy, whatever. I'd make a data tool and make it free. And I do applaud Slab Stocks for their attempt. My fear there is they're so dependent on eBay. Their platform just isn't robust. Like, I would like for someone to buy market movers and give it away for free, right? Maybe you'd sell us, you join a membership for their, I don't know, something. Maybe they get PSA grades for that, or maybe it's part of the set registry program. But I think a tool, I love Market Movers tool, but I just think that should just be open to everybody. I think everybody should access the data tools. I hate to say this, I don't see the monetary value in them. And I think when you put monetary value on them, then two things happen. The people behind them are paid now to tell you that sports cards are going to make you money. And that's a bad thing. Right? I mean, in fact, here's a deep thought, guys. And I'm sorry I'm going so long here. When you think about what Dr. Beckett said about when he made the price guide, he didn't make the price guide and give investment information because he just thought it was wrong. He made the price guide because he knew people wanted to price. He thought there should be a fair level ground for people to be able to check the pricing. Right? That makes sense to me. He still took that concept and built a multi-million-dollar company with that. Right? So when I look at what eBay provides, they give us access to data. If we could just make a simple data tool, and not simple, but a complicated data tool like Market Movers and make free, like Jeff, if you're listening, man, I think you could do so much more for the hobby if you just made the tool free and found a different way to make revenue off the hobby. Like you could commercialize your show or your stream, right? You could make a sports card channel network. You could take on a champion's role in the hobby as an advocate. Give the tool away for free, man. And again, I think that helped people because then people are more educated in their decisions. And we wouldn't look at it with this sunk cost. Well, I got to flip money. Like one thing I never liked about the tools, and this sounds really weird, I never, ever liked the collection feature of the tool. I hated that. I freaking hated it. In fact, I'll be honest with you guys, right? I told you before, I've known Chris from Card Ladder a long time. And I've known Jeff as well. I was talking to Chris at Card Ladder about the collection when he launched it. And I'm the one who gave him some tips on it, by the way, just from a sales and marketing perspective, because I understand the stickiness of a collection. Okay. I understand how if you get a user to use the collection, you're more likely to renew the product. So I gave him a whole bunch of information and tips around that. And I say that because Card Ladder was the first one to come out with the My Collection, right? Because again, it looks cool. It's like, it's my collection. But the thing I hate about my collection, the thing I never liked about it is I don't want to see the value of my collection. That sets the wrong preset in my mind, right? And again, that's, I think as my year went by, I realized I'm more collective an investor. I guess if this is my investment, I want to watch it every day. But I never have thought of cards as a monetary investment. I think at best they can pay for the trip. And obviously people have made money off of them, right? So I guess it's just, and I've also told you, I don't ever sell at top market. I always leave, meat on the bone, or I'm just not money's not my focus of the hobby. That's why I don't, that's why I try to keep my independence, right? I don't want to endorse things. I mean, I love Market Movers, and if you want to use it, I recommend using code BREAKOUT and give those guys over at Breakout Sports the 20%, man, or get the 20% coupon or whatever, but hook those guys up. It's a great tool, and I love a great channel, right? But I just don't want, I don't know. I don't, if money is involved in the hobby, I don't feel as good. Like, I don't even like using eBay. I'd rather sell on Facebook. So I know the person's getting it. I can give them a good deal. I follow up with people on Facebook. Hey, did you get the card? Did you get the item? I like that part of the hobby. I'm talking way too goddamn much. I think it'd be a learning experience for most of the ages in the hobby, young or middle. The hobby has, so I'd be selective in every purchase we make. It's very true. I think it is a good learning experience. I just worry about my sons. Like I said, I'm probably overthinking it, but none of them really like it. They want to sell. They'll sell their stuff. Like I got 3 prison boxes for each one of them, and 2 of them, my oldest son sold his. My middle son sold his. My young son has his. That's it, because they want the money. And it's not like my kids need the money. Agreed that most of the pumper content creators will be weeded out quickly. Yeah, but again, at the same time, let me go back to those data tool guys, right? In fairness, Jeff and Chris and Josh are never going to tell you an honest story about what's going on in the hobby. They're always going to give you a biased opinion. They have to. Just like PSA and BGS and Panini and Topps. If their business is the hobby, they're not unbiased, okay? They're, in fact, very biased, right? Their livelihood depends on you believing in their world. If someone were to wake up tomorrow and go, sports cards are cardboard and have no value, right? If somehow that happened, I don't know how that would happen, because we believe they are. But if some real tragedy happened or something miraculous happened, I don't know, something happened, a lot of people are going to be hurt, right? Even like this, if you think about the fact that dollar, right? Someone woke up and realized the dollar doesn't have the value. Well, that's a whole different topic. Jeff has 100,000 subscribers doing a huge card purchase, box openings. There isn't 100,000 people that can afford this purchase. He gets bumped. It's chump change. Yeah, I agree. It is. If he gets burned, it's chump change. Late, but thanks for responding to their video, bro. Well, I watched the first one. I had to watch the second one. I had a lot of work to do today. And again, I like their video. I like them. I don't agree with everything, but I like what they're saying. Greed always creates chaos. Yep. Yep. Jeff is a hustler and a sharp guy. He isn't in this to lose money. He is, but I agree with you. And that's why I think he's gonna sell the company. I think he'll sell the company off. Or maybe he does it. Maybe he listens to me, makes a product free, and takes a. Because like I said, look what Beckett did, dude. Become Dr. Beckett for 2020 and beyond, right? Because if you gave it away, if market movers became the legitimate tool of the hobby, you could sell advertising on the platform. You could run a show, a channel. You could make revenue, man. You could make the revenue, and then you could take a leadership spot. Shit, you could buy a grading company, right? Or you could. I just like that. In fact, I've always liked Jeff more than I did Nat. And I know not everybody agrees with it, but to me, Nat was like, you see a fin in the water, like, is he a shark or a dolphin? Is that a shark or a dolphin? With Jeff, you see the fin, like, okay, it's a shark. Guy's a businessman. He's here to make money. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you don't see the fin, man, you don't know it's a shark or dolphin. You see it hit the water. Is it a shark? That's how I look at Nat. Nat's like, I don't know, man. I don't trust him. In the old days, shops used to buy for half of low Beckett. Wow, that's pretty brutal. And that's true, because I remember you couldn't get shit when you went to the card. Look at Jeremy Lee. For 30 years, he's basically making lunch money in the hobby. Now you can wipe a smile off his face. He cashed in big time thanks to flippers investors. Interesting criminal mind. Interesting. I'm not going to disagree with that. I've heard some interesting stories about that. I would say Jeremy's very opportunistic. He has an interest in the money. And I said because when his channel was non-monetary, I remember talking to him and stuff. We used to chat a lot more. And I liked his channel because I liked the fact he got some pretty good interviews and I learned stuff about that. But then he went monetized. Then he went kind of biased. Then he blocked me on his channel. And he still won't talk to me. He got me kicked off Hobby Hotline, by the way, since I'm just going live and confessing everything. Yeah, he's the one who got me kicked off Hobby Hotline. And by the way, he's the one who whined to Jeff that about Chris and I, our exchange. So listen to this. Let me just go ahead and share this little story while I'm having a drink here. So on, I think it's December 31st, Chris from Card Ladder is on the show, and I'm asking questions. And you can go watch the video. You can see my questions. None of them are rude or offensive. They're well-asked questions. But Chris makes this vague threat of, I'd hate for someone to show up at National and get beat up by 30 people, which the same threat had been made by one of his card affiliates earlier that week. So it was the second time I heard it. After that exchange that night, I sent a message to Jeremy saying, we need to talk, right? He didn't call me. He called Jeff, I think it was later in January. And then Jeff calls me and he's like, hey, what's going on? And at that time, I told Jeff, you know what? I don't want you to look bad because of what I'm doing. And that's what Chris was doing. Chris was trying to associate me with market movers simply because I was admin of the freaking youth Facebook group. And I'll say this too. I mean, say this really clearly too. And you can ask anybody this. The reason I was admin of that group is because I didn't want that group to ever be monetized. Right? I wanted it to stay open to the public, free thinking. I let people post their ideas, post their groups, post their channels. One time there were limits, but I helped promote people. I network with people. I love the Sports Card Investor Facebook group. And I think when I was there, and I don't know what's going on now, I still think it's run very well because I know the guy who took over after I left. He's a great person, but I know that I could push back on Jeff and say, hey, no, we shouldn't do that. Like, we asked about, should we sell in the Facebook group? I was like, no, don't allow selling in this Facebook group. Let's not do that. And he did selling on Discord. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent on different things. It's live. Fuck it. This is why I don't go live all the time. God damn it, I'm so behind. Second year cards make sense with all-time greats. Hard for bench. Yeah, but the problem is there's no all-time greats playing today. You might argue LeBron, but I'll just say there's so many goddamn of his cards made. You can't compare that to 86 Flair when there was 86 Flair, and the next year there's 87 Flair. There wasn't even an 87 Topps basketball, right? Or a score basketball year. There's just another basketball from Flair. You see what I'm saying? Like, that made sense to me second year. I still am not a fan. I also think people buy second year thinking it's a rookie card often. They don't know that. I'll give you the Mantle second year card, Henry. There's several in the vintage where I understand those are fine, but to somebody need to put up a big stop sign in the YouTube community, say stop buying second year cards. I think Baseball Card Collector Investor Dealer did something like that. How would you like to be at National and not be able to get table because content creators are blocking the path. I don't think they're going to be doing that this time. All these old fart collectors should bow down and kiss the feet of investors and flippers who made the hobby prosper. But criminal mind. I don't think. Again, I'm on the borderline there. I'm part of this old fart group, and I'm part of the young crowd because I see some of the things. Like I did think. Like here's what I was hoping. I was hoping we could make constructive change, right? And we did with the masses. I think we made change in grading because I think we've broken the illusion that graders are magic. The other thing I think we've done is I think we put some pressure on exclusivity and brought it to people's attention. We didn't get that change, but people are at least aware of that, and it's important. But like I said, the problem is we led them to believe that we're all still at the party, and we're not. And they're going to print a whole bunch of product, and they're going to crush this hobby with a whole bunch of garbage that we're not going to want, and we're going to have to swallow. And it's just going to suck. Like, guys, Hoops is a terrible product. No one liked Hoops. No one liked it. Hoops was trash. But LaMelo Ball Hoops PSA 10s were selling for what, $500, $800, something like that? It's ridiculous. There's so many of them. PSA cannot grade the NFTs. I know they can't. But they could monetize NFTs if they thought about it. It's a wholly separate video. There's a zero regulation. We can't even police ourselves. Jeremy guy, shining happy people. I know. You're right. We can't police ourselves. There are a few people out there policing. Dallas Card Show this weekend. Barely heard anything about it. Kind of makes me wonder. I know about National, but Dallas. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So I will say, John, I'm looking forward to hearing from Ryan at Breakout Cards because he's going to be at Atlanta on Saturday and then Dallas on Sunday or vice versa. But he's doing both shows this weekend, and he'll be home Sunday night. So he definitely will put out content. So check him out. That's Breakout Sports. And if you get market movers, use his code. He's going to put out a video, and I'd love to hear it. He'll give you an honest perspective, too, of what's going on. He won't give you any BS, so I look forward to that. I feel like the hobby isn't crashing. The fake collectors are just getting the dose of reality, and they're now frustrated. Yeah, but again, my point of the crash, guys, and this is what I want to say that Bench Clear does not talk about, is the manufacturing. The selling out of those companies going public is not good for us in the hobby, okay? The collectors, the people who have been there for 20 years are going to cash out. They might be held with some golden handcuffs for 6 months to a year, but they're going to cash out. Shareholders are going to request more, and the only way they're going to get it is to print more. And we are going to be just overwhelmed with BS. Like, that's why I go back to the NFTs. Like, I think Top Shot's a perfect example of what not to do. They over-minted the hell out of their NFTs. They have no idea what a collectible is. Both Topps and Panini have limited their runs on their NFTs. Extremely low when you think about what they print in paper. I mean, seriously low. eBay with shield and zero enforcement. Yep. You're right. Didn't rise for almost 20 years. That's not true. In fact, what sustained the hobby is that every year there's a chase, right? And every sport had this. They have a prospect. You chase the rookies. And at the end of the year, one person or two people would win. So there was some return, right? And you can correct me, anybody else, but the hobby for probably, at least in the modern hobby, has had that chase rookie card. That card that has value. That, hey, man, this card's worth $1,000. There has been that. $1,000 cards existed, but most of them, by the way, were relics, autographs of rookies, or they were rarity, like a Babe Ruth autograph cut signature. That's what the $1,000 hits were. That's what the chase cards were, and the products were more affordable then too. Okay, so it wasn't the flippers. The flippers, yeah, they brought money to the hobby, but they also jacked up the prices of a product, dude. There's no reason anybody should pay anything more than $200 for a prison box of any product. The manufacturing price is way lower than that. Right, I'm not talking manufacturing. The allocated suggested retail price is around $120 to $150. So you shouldn't be paying more than $200 for a damn box. Oh, well, that would definitely propel a crash. I'm a little worried. It's funny. If we had a lockdown, you think a lockdown would help the hobby or hurt it? It's kind of one of my questions. Because you have people back at home again. I don't think it would help it. I could be wrong. I saw, I think it was Brandon put a video thinking that these government kid checks coming out are going to help propel the hobby. But I don't think free government money is going to keep people in the hobby going. So, do you really feel the regulation is needed? The hobby is going with years. I do, but I don't know how to do it. I mean, I do. I do wish there was regulation in the hobby, but I don't know how they'd even put their hands around the beast that is the hobby. Right? That's what I was talking to Andy about on Sports Card Investigator, who I also want to give a shout out to because man has always given me some great tips on stuff breaking news and stuff like that during my workday. Just really appreciate you, Andy. I don't know how they'd get into it. Like I said, the only two places I think they could come in right away. Well, first of all, they could do some enforcement around the fakes and frauds, but that's a big beast in itself. I think would either be in controlling manufacturing, like they control liquor, right? Because I know I don't know if it's caps, but I know because of alcohol laws in states, they know how much is being made of every beer, every alcohol that's sold and purchased in the state because it's taxed. So maybe if states started taxing collectibles, they'd want to regulate that. That might be a way in. The other way, like I said, is in standardizing the manufacturing of the card, right? Maybe having specs on how thick the card is, long, everything like that, and even include maybe regulations on competition, right? I don't know. I do want regulation, but I don't even know how it would get here. I don't know how it would get here, man. Okay, in my opinion, Star Shock should not break unless the product is purchased on Star Shock. That should cause boxes directly priced. That's a good. I like that. I have mixed feelings on the whole Star Stock breaking thing. I'm a big fan of breaking. I think this would definitely solve my concerns because if they were buying it off the site, then that would actually put money back into the ecosystem, right? And it would also keep, like you said, keep it regulated on the price. There's nothing that stops these guys from getting the product at a lot lower price or getting allocation in the future. That's what I'm looking for. If you start seeing them dropping, brand new allocated products on a weekly basis on release nights, that would piss me off because that means they've got access to allocations, and they didn't get in line for that. That just meant they had the money to get them. And again, I understand money talks and bullshit walks, but that will be interesting. I'll just say if I break, I like to break with people I know right now. There's like a handful of breakers I like, and I give them the business because I've been breaking with them for a long time. Million stings in HBO. Oh, it does. Same investigations are going on now in the hobby. Guys literally flaunting, spending huge amounts of cash. Interesting. You think so? I think the IRS might be doing something on the tax evasion, but I don't know. See, no one's fixed, or are they fixing these things? I don't know. That's interesting. Again, if you guys haven't seen it, McMillions he's referring to on HBO is about how someone was fixing the McDonald's Monopoly game. The $1 million winners and the big winners are being fixed. And the FBI got involved in that. That is an interesting story. Oh, here's one of my favorite guys, Cards and Comics. Thanks for stopping by. Most auction houses are run by scammers. I'm not going to disagree with that. And you've mentioned that before. And that's kind of why I said it earlier. I'm like, do you ever wonder why Sotheby's isn't putting sports cards up for auction? Anybody? I mean, why aren't prestigious art houses auctioning sports cards? Anybody? Right? Why is this whole market of these memory lanes and vintage and heritage and golden? Where did they all come from? You know what I'm saying? The collectible market has always had a challenge with fakes and frauds and counterfeits for a long time. So then you have to have a front to sell it. Right? Sad to say that. The modern day market has shifted towards manufactured scarcity, and the only reason market prices cards won't tank. Well, we'll see. Because here's the problem with that, Criminal Mind. Scarcity has also been diluted as well. Like the gold prism is not numbered to 10. Well, it is, but it's not only one gold prism. There's a gold prism, there's a gold shimmer prism, there's a gold sunny moon prism, there's a gold I had breakfast with a hot girl prism. There's so many different gold manufactured prisms numbered to 10. There's probably 1,000 numbered to 10 right now, right? And on top of that, then you started making gold shimmers or gold waves with no numbering. So scarcity is rare. That's why I'll tell you guys, and it's Criminal Mind, if you want scarcity, check out NFTs by Panini and by Topps. Not by Top Shot, but by Panini and Topps. Scarcity is scarce. There's only their base Panini NFT is $17.99. The base Topps is $26.57 on base. That's scarcity, and it's visible. It's on a blockchain. You can see it. There's no counterfeiting. There's no alteration. There's no trimming. There's no grading. That's why I do think I do think if you're a collector with a passion for the hobby, I think you're going to move there. In fact, here's another true confession. I've already in my mind, and I'm not going to share with people because I don't want people fucking with my collection, pardon my French, thought of NFTs that I'm going to not only buy, but I'm going to print digital copies of and slab them. And the slab will even say NFT, but it'll have the mint number and everything. And I'm going to display those around my house. And people go, what is that? I mean, that's my NFT. What is it? Well, that's just a picture of the NFT. The actual NFT is in my blockchain. That to me is freaking cool, man. That's just me. I don't care if anybody else thinks that's cool, but I'm serious. Like, for example, I got the Luca Marvels. It's numbered to 307. Okay, so the mint number on the NFT says number 307. So I'm gonna print that thing off in like high resolution, double side that babe, and I'm gonna send it off to a slabber and just say, I don't want it authenticated. I just want you to grade it. It's a homemade card I'm gonna make, and I want it graded. I want that thing slab, baby, for my PC, my Luca PC with a freaking paper cut of the NFT. I will never sell that. Why would I want to? Because I'll have the real NFT will be in the blockchain. In fact, maybe there's a market for that. Maybe they should make one that says, maybe you could have, hey, Panini, you could have a print your own NFT. You want to print, you like it, you can print it. And here's the script. You can print it off and then take it and get it graded. Oh, I love that, man. I'm talking too damn much. Parallels I agree. I don't disagree. But again, I think the whole market's in trouble, man. I really do. I really do. I'm not like it's the end of the world in trouble, but I think overall there's going to be a correction coming because, like I said, even in the number cards, there's relative scarcity right now. Oh man, some high-powered collector, judge, lawyer, politician, law. Yeah, probably. I agree. Can you people see my chat or am I blocked? I can see you, man. Dude. I have only people that block are the true trolls, and they know who they are, and they're not here for sports cards. I'll tell you that too. No, we can totally see their chat. Can you guys see criminals chat? Talk to criminal. We would not, criminal man, I would not do that to you. I would not do that to you, sir. And if I'm going to block someone, I'm going to tell you why I blocked you. I'm going to say why I blocked you, why I did it. But no, in fact, Chris and Josh, you guys are welcome anytime on this show. I will not block you. See, you are not blocked. No, I would not block you, man. I like your difference of opinion, dude. Criminal, if you want to come online, we can chat. I'll even bring you on. I love this. I love conversation with debate. Just got the part about Daps. Couldn't agree more, bro. Dude seems scummy. He does. He does seem scummy. Like, what is your purpose, Daps? What is your purpose? Because I'll even say this. Like, if you're trying to build a breaking group and you want to have customers for a long time, don't lie, screw them over, or nickel and dime them, dude. Be honest with them. That's what the best breakers are. They're honest friends in the hobby. They're people you can ask a question about and they're going to answer you, dude. But dude, Daps, I don't know what you're doing. Again, are you doing it for the monetizing? I have to think you're doing it because you're insecure and you just want people to look at you. I'm sorry to say that, but what is the reason for doing it? Ask yourself that, Daps. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if your answer is, I'm doing this to make the hobby a better place, like Josh says, then I'm going to call you out on it. Remember Josh? Yeah. Some high-powered judge, politician, federal law enforcement, they never get scammed. They're going to force regulation. You think so? Dude, I want to be wrong on that. I love this to happen. Well, I'd be setting up tons of breakers that have been gobbling it up. And once the breakers go broke, the supply chain is in trouble. I agree. But that's what I'm saying. There's going to be so much product, though. We're going to have to eat it all, man. Someone's going to eat it. Hey, man, good morning, Double Coverage. I love these guys. These guys are out of Australia. Love their show. Here's my tip to you guys, Double Coverage. You're going to have to chop up your videos. I watch your videos. I seldom can make it through the whole thing, but I normally listen to them while I'm driving. If you could clip them up and drop clips during the week, it would help you guys so much more because then you could reference like conversation on this topic, conversation that. Then people would come and listen to it. So that's my only tip to you guys. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. And if you can't, and you're winging it like I am, dude, just keep doing your job, man. You're doing an awesome job. I love the show. I love your perspective as well, guys. How many people backed Mastro till the bitter end? It's all a conspiracy. It is all a conspiracy. The card manufacturers keep telling us that they are not going to repeat the behavior of their cards, yet they keep printing and printing. Exactly. Well, again, why should we believe them? That's like if the fox were to eat all the fucking hens in the roost in the nest, and then he comes back next day and goes, dude, I'm not going to let that happen again. This time I'm going to be responsible. I'm full. I'm not going to let it happen again. Why did we trust them in the first place? This is why I don't understand why print runs aren't like why we, the collector community, don't enforce or require print runs to be disclosed. Like, I don't know. Like, after a certain amount of time, you should disclose your print run. And I'll say, if I was a manufacturer, I'd use that as a competitive advantage, guys. If I was Topps, I would start saying, you know what? We're going to start disclosing our print run because we believe someone in the market is overprinting. Panini. And right now, Panini's like a, what's it, a chick on trying to get a prom date right now. She's got a good dress on. She's looking hot. Got a perfume. She's talking to all the hot boys. She wants to get sold. Oh, good card maker. You're right. Print. Yep. Maestro getting a blank PSA DS letters I really talked about. I didn't think I know about that card comics. I think I heard about this. But you might have to point me to the video if you put one together. I really like your stuff, cards and comics. I've been in this hobby for a long time. From my experience with dealers, I would say about 80% of these guys take advantage of newbies. That's not very false. You're right. I don't disagree with that. And even more so before eBay, right? Because they could sit there and bullshit you. Well, our car's only really worth this much. Corner's dang. In fact, that's why grading is taking the place. That's why grading's there, is because most one-on-one transactions in sports cards, there was some asshole trying to screw the other asshole over. I hate to say that, but it's really true. Like, I remember the thing in the 90s was you had to go to the card shop where they tell you, well, the Beckett value is this, but we can only give you that much because you didn't get any. That's why there's no liquidity then. At least now with eBay, you could sell it, but you need to have some justification of value, and that was typically who was the last one who sold one like that, right? Who's a similar comp. And most time you average those comps. But that is very true. Again, the hobby are the people. And they're not all good people. They're not all bad. It's the people. My brother-in-law is a breaker. He's looking to get out of the game at the end of the year. I wonder if that's an indication that things come. I'll just say this, John. It's a brutal business. It's a brutal business, dude. I looked at breaking back in 2016. In fact, one of my tags that you'll see is Ziggy's Breaks. I started off, I think my Twitter is Ziggy's Breaks. And at the time, I was thinking about doing breaking. I even remember buying stuff and advertising. And I realized, first of all, here's an honest confession. I remember sitting there at night thinking about the break going, what if I pull a big card? Fuck that. I don't want to pull a good card and have to ship it to somebody else. No, I'm going to break it myself. And that's my justification. And it wasn't that I wouldn't ship it, right? It wasn't like I'm going to scam somebody. If I pull a big card, I'm going to send it. It's like, I was thinking to myself, it would suck to have to send a good card to somebody. But I remember doing like personal breaks and friendly breaks for friends and with that, and being happy when they get a good card. But I don't like breaking, and also the sorting and then dealing with customers and people. It's not a lucrative. It's not a good business long term. It's a good hustle. It's a good side hustle. It normally is people doing it to keep their own hobby habit going, right? But it shouldn't be a full-time job. There should be few that people are doing it full-time. There are a few large breakers that I think are really good at it, that have credible hobby experience. What's up, Ziggy? Up in the area, headed to Lanham for work. Hey, man, thanks for driving by. Route 5, headed to Lanham for work. Have a great night. Safe to see you. We're going to have to get together sometime, man. We're going to have to get together. I didn't go to the CSA show. I'm a weekend dad, and my weekend's been crazy. This weekend I'm wide open, but have a great night, man. I'd love to catch up with you, Snoop. I'd love to catch up with you, man. There's a lot of good people. Like I said, that's the thing I love about the hobby. Most people are good. We talk. Spot Theodore. Once a politician gets scanned, investigation, regulation. Well, let's see. Is that what I got to do? I got to scam a freaking politician? I thought Topps was doing some sort of subscription model, guaranteed product monthly. They do. The Montgomery Club, which I can't seem for the life of me to get into, but they do that. And I think it's been phenomenal. I mean, it's been ridiculous. I think Panini will do that too. So just so everybody, if you don't know that, Montgomery Club, they open a window of people to get in. Apparently last year they had a screw up on it. I couldn't get in last year. I don't know how much it is, but I know being in it, you get access to certain products. You get access to a lot of their Sapphire products. And I know a lot of guys who are getting access like Chrome Sapphire, it's like that, and selling it fast. The soccer Sapphire. It's a great thing to be in. I think they should label the boxes or scan the boxes and prevent resell, right? By not allowing you to resell the product. If you buy it, you got to break it. Or maybe, here's even better. Here's a great idea. Topps, are you listening to me? Or Panini, you should get a sanctioned breaker, give them early access to your product, and sell it to the consumer if they're going to personally use it. So, for example, if I want to buy a hobby box of Sapphire. I go to Frank's, who's a Panini direct distributor. He's going to break it for me at the Panini Fair suggested retail price, and it gets shipped to me broken, right? All the cards. But that way it prevents me from reselling it, right? Because that's why there's so much control in the market. You're going to buy 10 of them and flip 8 of them. Well, let's stop that. Just give me access to one, but guarantee me a subscription model where someone breaks it for me and they ship it to me. That'd be damn cool. I like that idea. I don't know. It's just an idea. Just coming at ideas. I know many shops who've tried and failed breaking overhead in the competition. It is fierce, and the overhead is fierce. And then again, you're going to get people who get nothing in breaks and you're going to do chargebacks, right? Who are going to be pissed that I didn't see the break. The random was wrong. It's just not worth dealing with that crap, man. It really is not. NFTs are boring, Ziggy. Good. I'm glad. I'm not going to argue with that, man. Oh, I just lost it. Where was I? Where's my damn thing, man? I can't be that far on comments. Come on. Where am I? Maybe it's me. Oh. Asshole screwing asshole. See, I hit the wrong comment there. I want to get to everybody's comment. Keep the feds out. I just saw a comment. So maybe we are. Oh my God, are we this far behind? Holy smokes, I'm really slow, dude. Holy smokes. Okay, we're going to pick up the speed here, though. We're going to pick up the speed. I got to stop. Okay, there's the print. Okay, we got that one. Brother-in-law's a breaker. Up, yep, in the area. Got that one. Spot on Theodore. Got that one. Got this one. NFTs are boring. Is the last one we were on. Hey, guys. Hey, Brandon, baseball. That's what I was talking about. And, Brandon, I like your video, man. I just don't think that's going to be enough stimulus to keep the card manufacturing overflow wave from crashing down on us. I hope you heard that. Is Richard Sherman a sell now? I'm going to say probably, which is really sad. He's just a human being. It's not right what he did or anything. I'm not justifying it. I don't know the whole story, but he's just a human being. So I don't know. If you're a PC or collector, you're probably not selling. Any days why Joe Orlando really left PSA? I think because he probably had some 6-month golden handcuffs. Also, I think a lot of these guys are like, dude, why am I in this business right now? They probably all realize this shit's going to hit it's crashing. I don't know. Whenever one of these auction houses to get padlocked for tax evasion, fraud, money laundering, what happened to those people's cards? Oh, that's scary. I didn't like the video on GTS where Golden talked about how he had 40 cards, 40 of the PSA 10s, and he controlled the auctions of those. That I didn't like that. Man, don't give a F. I will buy PC cards, SGC, GTS slabs. Who cares? I understand. And I know how hard it is for you guys internationally to get them. I understand. Because you're a collector. I love people steal my channel name. Who else did it? I love cards and comics. Only flipper I trust is a dolphin. I like flipping Steve. I trust flipping Steve. Panino dolphin flipper. Last show I went 80% of the cards were from 80%. Damn, that's high. Hey bud, did I see A-Rod blank check company just bought into Panini Soccer? $1 billion or two is involved. Wow. I don't know if it's official yet. I haven't seen that, but if it happens, man, I will say that too. I think the soccer market for Panini is probably bigger than going after baseball. I saw several people think, well, if A-Rod buys it, they're going to be baseball again. No, I don't see it at all. Panini's not going to get baseball unless they buy Topps. And Topps, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to hit that soccer market. There's so much room for them to grow. I also think A-Rod's an idiot for buying the company because, like I said, he's going to get them home and he's going to find out that, well, she's not everything they thought she was. My thoughts on trimming scandal will kill the market. I didn't brought new eyes a scandalous word of cards. Yeah. I thought the trimming scandal would kill the market. It didn't. You're right. It didn't. But I think what's going to kill the market are some of these cards being sold that are trimmed and the auction house is not doing anything about it and how easy it is to trim. I mean, the video I saw yesterday shows you how the guy trimmed the Trout card. PSN now has the ability to unload all of their unpaid slabs into the Golden Auctions platform. They do have the ability to do that. I don't think they would use that though. Jeremy blocks you if you're not singing happy praises. I sing happy praises about Jeremy. I'm just critical of him. In fact, I think it was funny for everybody who's watching this. I was on his channel using my other alias, which is now Panini NFTs, and I was chatting with him that night, and I was using sports cards and something NFTs that night, and we were having a good chat going back and forth and making jokes. He's laughing. He had Ben Carlos on, and the show before that was adding value, and he says, well, you have to tell me who your name is so I don't have to say sports and collectible NFTs. And I thought to myself right there, I should have said, this is Ziggy. I didn't, because I didn't want to embarrass Jeremy at that point. I really didn't want to embarrass him during his live show to say, dude, I'm the guy you blocked that you're having fun with. Ha ha ha. But anyway, it is what it is. I was watching eBay auctions, Stadium Club Blasters overnight. The auctions were ending far past which they're available at Target. Why are people so dumb? I don't know. They could be out of the area. They could be out of the area, can't get it. And it depends on how much past $19.99. Is it $20? Is it like $30, and shipped to your house? You might buy a bunch. So some of these YouTube folk clowns going from flipping cars to flipping burgers. I like that comment. Thanks for joining, New York Yankees fan. How's it going, Ziggy? Chase Shaner. What are your thoughts on the... I just real briefly, I'm not surprised at all. I don't think it really... Here's what I'll tell you my first thoughts are. Nat is a liar. Okay? And I don't mean that to be rude, and it's business, but he's known that. He's also known how many cards they process a day. He knew they were only bringing in one entry level. He's known all this. When he's on these friendly interviews with these channels, and they're like, oh, I like Nat. Nat's a collector. Nat. Dude, stop kissing my ass. Nat's a businessman, and is giving you a business answer. You should come back with a better answer, right? Well, what's the level going to be? Well, do you think there'll be a price increase? Nat, you really don't have any insight into what's going on there? I know as chairman, what metrics do you use? What metrics do you measure PSA by? What is your involvement? Who would be best to know those answers, right? I mean, there's so many things you could have asked the guy. Oh, my God, don't get me started. So I'm not surprised he left. I think you'll see less of him being public, and I really don't care. I really don't care. Because part of me applauds the business mind that he has. I mean, he's like the Bezos of sports cards, right? He's trying to buy up the entire supply chain. I really wanted to see him buy Panini. I did. I really want to see him buy Panini. Just freaking own it from print to auction house. Just do it, man. It would have just been hilarious. And no one's going to stop that. Why would they even stop that? My ComC is scheduled for October 1, I think. I like ComC. Yeah, Trim Scandal was sad. The VGS Trim Brady. Yep. You know what the best way to do the trimming a scandal would be? You create the fake card. You create a fake slab. You send the fake slab over to someone to crossover. They just see it as a crossover. They're not authenticating the slab. Then they cross it over to a shitty card. Then you get that and you cross it back over. You can do multiple crossovers because the grading companies aren't then authenticating the card or the autograph, right? They're just assuming the other grading company did. So that's the way to get through the little armor. Just trick one of them and then re-slab it. Do crossovers. Even take a crossover lower, right? On a vintage card, Tyler Hero cards, repack for sure. Do you think the manufacturer's release of their product junk by the poo-poo load, it wouldn't be their best interest financially? Do you think the manufacturers release if they products junk? I don't think they care. And what I mean by that is they've known for years a lot of times products didn't succeed. A lot of times products failed. And it was a competitive market space, right? There were years ago, actually, when basketball wasn't doing well. That's part of why we have exclusive license. So I don't think they do. I think they really look at it as, look, there's still demand. We're going to print more. That's why print has always gone up every year, right? That's why we've had this false blind dependency on PSA being our pop count for understanding a print run. PSA is like trusting the blind to lead the blind for figuring out the print run of a card. It's getting dark out here, man. It's getting dark out here. Turn to a laundering screen. That's another thing, man. That might get some regulation. You find out someone's like laundering cards to get drug money in the country, or say the T word with sports cards. I'm going to give Sasha T and even that other young kid the benefit of the doubt of their lack of experience and applaud their hustle. I don't think their intent is wrong. I really don't. Now, I think they could learn from it and adjust from it, but I'm not. I'm going to be a little less brutal to them. A-Rod just purchased into Panini Soccer stickers part of Panini. Did you just buy the stickers or did you buy the whole thing? Project 23. Yeah, don't tell me about that one, man. I still have hope, though. I really do think that those cards, like 20 years from now, they're going to pull those out and go, remember when people were buying these? And everybody's going to have the Griffey Shore one, right? Wishful thinking, mate. Too much capitalism. That damn Americans. Maybe that's what we need to do. Send the sports card companies over to a more socialized country. Hey, that's what we're going to do, man. Trump's going to come out and we're going to do a campaign. Biden's trying to socialize sports cards. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't even bring up politics. Sports card dad knows nothing of the history of the hobby. My God, he has a freaking camera crew. Sports card dad. Who's sports car dad? He had a camera crew? Did he really? I do agree. There are a lot of guys who know nothing and they don't admit they know nothing, right? Admit that you know nothing. Tell me you're on our journey and we're learning together. The purpose of the channel is grifting people. Many of them are. Ziggy, I just left the Dallas car show. It was slow and slabs were not moving at all. That's actually surprising. Thanks, Glorious P. Dude, if you're not following Glorious P, great channel. Love your videos, dude. Love your videos. Love your insight. Love your support. Just big fan. Cheapskate collectible. I keep saying data tool isn't too cool down market. Paying them fee, tell your cards are tanking. That's you're right. That's why I don't like the collection feature. Can we imagine how bad the PSA backlog would have been if they had stayed open? Oh, I know. Oh my God, I know. But I do think the reason they didn't is because they probably been sued by then because they're holding people's money. I think that would that's why they probably decided not to do that. Especially as a private company, right? As a public company, I think they had more visibility in the backlog. I'll release a video on it soon. Thanks, man. On the show, I just wanted to dance. The Hammer Way, Scotty B, Extreme Cards, Slippin' Steve, Ride Dog, Ziggy Breaks. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I got to watch more Scotty B. I've heard great things about his channel. I'm down with some dancing, too. Dancing. Glorious P, interesting. Dallas show, nothing moving either. On National, is a bad sign. We'll see how that goes. Yep, either everyone's ready for that or it's bad news. I'm just surprised no one's even talking about it. These guys have an agenda. You're right. They do have an agenda. My agenda has always been, I want you to listen to me and share it with others. And if I'm wrong, I want you to come back and critique me and let's learn together. That's honestly what my goal here really is. I want to have influence. I want more people listening. So share, like, subscribe, because I want to just educate. And if I'm wrong, I want you to tell me I'm wrong. And I want us to be able to challenge what we see and correct. I want this channel to prevent any other screw-ups in the future. Good evening. Please hit the thumbs up. Hey, man, thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. I can't even see thumbs up from here, but I get so many thumbs down. So I love the thumbs up. I look for my cards as a loss, although I wish you could sell some. I agree, too, man. That's the thing. And that's what I'm saying about the guys who are buying these big cards. I don't think they're buying $1 million card, but I'm going to sell this for $2 million down the road. I think they're buying it as a loss. Like, hey, man, I got $1 bazillion. I'm going to buy a pretty car. I'm going to buy a card. I'm going to buy some champagne at a stripper. It's just an item they're buying. It's an experience. They're not all investors. That's why I'll tell you, the fractional thing with the Mickey Mantle that's just going on, where they're getting a buyout option. Oh my God, that's so bad. It's so bad. Like, what private buyer went to collectible and said, I will buy this for $3 million? You couldn't find it on the private market through someone like Breakout Cards. I love plugging Breakout Cards. I don't want to get them in trouble. People are going to think I'm affiliated with them, and then I'll get banned. After 9/11, the values of cards crashed due to hard. That they did. You're absolutely right. I remember that. Actually, I don't remember that. I remember hearing about that. I was not in the hobby then. I'm a local Indianapolis card show. Andy from Andy, did you be there? I've seen how. Please let us know, John. I'll be live on Sunday night. Would love to carry on the conversation. Who's the most to lose the value tanks? Great question, Andy. Great question. Who has the most to lose? The manufacturers. Because the manufacturers can justify these high prices because they're saying that the people are getting such high cards. Like, Panini's whole justification for raising prices of cards is, well, they're pulling cards worth so much money. And we're watching the aftermarket. And their bullshit answer was actually, and we're leaving licensing money on the table that we should be paying to our licensor. Really? The market tanks. It's Panini and Topps. And that is why they're selling out. Because those executives, those people who know to get out. That's my guess, Andy. And I love Andy's channel. Love his insight. So, non-collectors, Andy. That could be an answer. Tell Andy, Jason said hi. I'm coming to see Indy Shop next week. Flipper, investor, Andy. Okay. Indeed, those are who count on them for business. Yep. PSA submissions will drop like a rock when Flippers quit. We'll see. The whole serial numbered cards I don't get. If the player sucks, who cares if it's got a 5? If it's 1 of 5. I agree. I've got a Kaiser NTA RPA. I think it's a 13. Anybody want that card, man? Because he sucks. He absolutely sucks. Cards and Comics will do. I love the conversation. It's something about to click the views, thumbs up. If you watch the Kid Bishop's videos where he gives out bad investing advice, none of it makes sense. He jumped in the hobby less than a year. I know he did. And I think he learned a lot. And I will say he was responsive to that. I remember commenting to him and he'd listen. And that's what I will say too. Slab Talk, if you're out there listening to me, it's another channel I kind of follow. I'm not trying to bust anybody's balls when I ask you hard questions, right? When I ask Slab Talk, like, why'd you buy a Damian Lillard card for $3,000? That's not a rookie autograph. It's just numbered to 25. And it's a pretty autograph. $3,000, man. Actually, $3,900 because you got $100 off the $4,000 asking price. And you talk about it on your show. What are you trying to teach? Tommy, boy, see when he gives a speech about guaranteeing on the box. It's a guaranteed piece of shit. That's how I feel about the grading thing. It's graded piece of shit right here, baby. A PSA base. What I liked about the older baseball, no barrage product. That's true. That's what I liked about the older stuff too. Even the junk wax. Like I still think there's got to be more cards printed overall players today than there were during the junk wax era from one product. You're going to start making investment videos, brought overpriced cards with credit. It's just a bad decision. Yep, that's his video. Yep, you're going to start making investment videos. Yep. I collect cards, causes chicks dig the cardboard. I like that. Chicks dig cardboard? Man, I got to meet those chicks. Show me Otani. National will separate the men from the boys in the hobby. None of these pop-up YouTube investors have experienced the week will drop. I think that's fairly true. Man, I'm getting bit up by some damn mosquito right now. Yeah, it happened in 89, pro football set. Can I move a little faster? Old Grizzle collectors, 25 years. I agree. And that's what they're going to see. Those old Grizzle collectors are going to chew them up. Get your shit off my table. Go sell your stuff out in the hall. They're even going to complain to the people in the hall. Why are you letting them sell stuff in the hall? When will be live with me? Ryan will be live with me tonight. Oh, man, cool. Really? Dude, I got to check that out. Elite Hunters. What time? Can you drop a time and I'll try to watch that? I'll push back a bit. My love Hoops Premium. It's a new product, though. And Hoops Premium is better than Hoops shit. Pardon me, Hoops paper. Same thing happened to TCG, Wizards, Coast, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to move a little faster. Vintage rookies doubled. From 25 to, wow, 25 to, wow. He loved it. And the ability to move money in the hobby. Card started at $90. Criminal Mind, hope you're still out there. I'm enjoying your comments. Cards and comics, no need to respond to Criminal Mind. Absurd market analysis. Federal and auction houses starting with criminal background checks if they do, like casinos. That'd be interesting. Feds need to regulate PSA. They're upcharging. I don't know how they would, though. Dangerous road to go down. Keep the feds out. I know how you feel, Snoop, but it might mean we're not doing a good job self-regulating. They have to get a handle of the counterfeiting. And that's what I'm saying. If there was a leader in the hobby, manufacturer needs to control long-term success instead of short-term profit. Public companies will ruin this hobby. I agree. The wrong CISO is in place. I agree with that, Sasha. I've never seen a tax form in their life. Yeah, they are probably going to have a wake-up call. The auction houses can see your hidden highs. That's why I don't understand how people do that. I made $25 million. Look, dude, I've made no money in cards. Let me just be, hey, IRS, I've made nothing in cards. Actually, I've claimed what I've made. You know what I've made. I actually haven't made shit. Pardon me. That's why it seems like max bid is always the way to win a lot. Companies are strictly the most. That's true. To make as much money in short term as possible. Very good comment. How's it going, Ziggy? What's your thoughts on? I think we did that one, didn't we? Did I get there? Let me auction the cards before they typically don't because they don't have the experts in the cards that work there. That's a good point. Sotheby's hasn't auctioned cards before they typically don't. Okay, but I also think they're concerned about because they don't want to auction a fraud or a fake, right? They take responsibility. I think that's my point. That Turner taking over PSC at PS. I'm not sure there's a lot of PSA 10s in his collection. The PSA is rumored to be controlling the pop counts of 10s. Yep. Whether they are or not, I think it's more of like because Carlos said, it's just new people, the hobby grading, so they're going to be stricter. You're starting your job, you're going to be stricter on your grading. Like, I'm not giving 10s out to anybody, right? If you're a food critic, you're going to be hard on the food critic. There's nothing. It's made up. Sasha T lives with his mom rent free. He even admitted to that, which I applaud him for saying that. I bought a pile of preloaded NFT. Keep my miss big card. It's done. Most from Happy Days. PC forever. I like that. Wow, I went long tonight. An hour and a half. I've never done this. Needs another operation bullpen to slap these fake YouTubers, the breakers, and pop-up grifters. Snoop is correct. My cousin worked for them as staff consultant and asked say bring mad money for them to touch it up. Wow. Let's see, Crim's chat. Bobby doesn't like folks that start their own grading companies. They're grading their own cards. That's how different than that. is running PSA. Interesting. Card companies don't care if the. We'll get to you in a second. Everyone seemed to like UD. Damn, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes right now. Don't care if they were printing as long as they still buy my cards. NFT, mega rare NFT license, probably. Make a Max Hedger NFT. I like it. That's a good idea. Oh, where did I just? Okay, there we are. We're almost caught up. Breaking Bad. Assholes screwing assholes. Oh, the thought of that. Have it open up to the camera. Great marketing too. To be honest with you, NFTs have no care application to me. I understand. I'm not going to tell people to try them out. Neo cards and comics. Oh, yes, he did go with Neo's cards and comics. Let's guys just move on. Hey, man, thank you, guys. Thank you. I am wrapping this up. I probably said too much. I'm going to regret some of this later on. That lies his ass off. Yeah, he does lie his ass off. I understand. You can say I can't disclose that. They were lobbying softball questions. I mean, they were even asked to ask Carter questions. There's so much butt kissing in this hobby. Like, did they get free PSA grades, Jeremy? Don't be afraid of the dark side, Ziggy. Or don't be afraid of the dark, right? Don't be afraid of the dark, Ziggy. I bet PSA lowest price $40. It's not the dark that bothers you. These goddamn mosquitoes, man. I also take my dogs for a walk. Project 2020 broke eBay, made them change their rules. Yeah, it did. My card song. I'm not even going to repeat that. I've never given thumbs down, even if I didn't like their video. Hey, man, thank you, Pepino. I appreciate that. Joking. It was too easy. I know, and I shouldn't have read that. Dealers are not buying it shows. Healthy. Okay. Ziggy, before I go, who are your top 3 content creators you highly recommend? Number 1 is baseball card collector, investor, dealer. Absolutely love his show. Number 2, I'm going to go with sports card investigator because it comes to mind. I really like his show. Number 3, I'm going to default and say I don't know right now because there's a lot of other. Probably say Bench Clear. I'm going to go Bench Clear because they got diverse. They got a lot of stuff on there. So these are my top 3. But there's so many other good ones, man. There's some really good soccer guys. I love Double Coverage. I like their show a lot. They talk a lot, and they're in Australia, but I love their show. I love Vincent and Card Hour. Man, it's just I got to stop. What's up, Costa Rica? What's up, man? Tough up, Ziggy. He's not a good guy. A lot of them come off conceited. Okay, comes on 9:30. We're looking. Okay, late night. His flight comes. Okay. I'll be up for that. I'm watching that. I'll be up for that. I gotta get a drink. My drink's empty. I'm getting eaten. This is PSA club, but they're not millionaires. Hobby will go there. That's central, by the way, because I'm okay. So that's even later, but I'm cool. Very good rant, Ziggy. I like it. Man, thank you guys. Thank you. Sorry I monetized some of my older videos. I had to do it to make the search algorithm try to get my subscription rates up. Hasn't really worked very well. If you couldn't make money off YouTube videos, how many of them would make them? I don't know. I'll keep making YouTube videos because I freaking love it. Even if I get out of sports cards and go all NFTs, I'm still going to talk about sports cards because I love it. I love this hobby, man. I really do. And I just enjoy it. I eat it up. Hey, what's up, Clay? Thanks for joining, man. My mom says I'm handsome. I don't care if you call me ugly. Okay, guys, that's the end of the chat. I really appreciate this. This has been super fun. I got bugs on my screen, mosquitoes on my back, but I had a really good chat. Got my talk my mind. I think I talked about much stuff I wanted to cover. I didn't show any of the cards I brought out here to show you. In fact, dude, check this out. I'm going to have to do this on a separate video. Look at this. I got this is a flawless box. It's an old one. Back in the day, my sons and I did buy a flawless box. This is back when flawless was a lot cheaper. And then inside this box, I have another box. And this is a box of national treasures from back in the old day, too. Just showing off my boxes because I got no cards left. But inside this box, I found this. This is so cool. I found these. I totally forgot about these. I found these. These are Rated Rookie 2018 extra packs. Now, here's what I didn't know. Like, I remember having these, and I remember putting them away, like thinking these are a waste because you open them up, and it was the same players, and I'm thinking, well, that's stupid. Why do I want these things? Then I looked them up on eBay, and they're selling on eBay for, like, money. I'm like, damn, I could sell these things. And then I heard they could have autos in them. And the rookie cards in here are Ohtani, Acuna Tamata, no, and somebody else, Gleyber Torres. I think there's a possibility of an auto. So I'm going to do a rip later on and rip these up and talk. I was going to do that tonight and I totally forgot. But I think it's cool I found these. I totally forgot about them. If anybody asks, they have absolutely no value. They are worthless. They're just mine to collect. And then I was also going to share with you guys, just since I got the video going, I did get, well, never mind. That's just boring. Just some boring collector's cards. Okay, that's it. I'm out of here. Guys, have a great night. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very, very much. Breakout is great, man. Have a great time at the National, man. I really wish I was going to be there. Regardless, just have fun. Have freaking fun. Peace.